Live from Arkansas' streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 7 on THV 11 Plus.
Good morning, everyone. We're so glad to have you with us. I'm Carolyn Fuller with meteorologist Tracy Bean. Hayden is off today. Ashley is a little under the weather.
Yeah,
and you guys worked hard last week.
Yeah, you never know. May see her. Who knows?
Yeah, she can rally. I mean, that girl is a strong girl.
Yeah, she was saying this morning that she was coughing a lot, so she was trying to wait to see if she was going to feel better, before she came in, because it's hard to do this job when you can't talk.
No,
when you're just coughing.
Right, we kind of have to talk. But you never know quite if it's going to go into sickness or not.
Right.
We're going to go with not, and we'll see her soon.
That's right.
There you go. But in the meantime, the weather this week will make up for what a lot of folks are still going through.
Yeah, we've still got a lot of kids out of school, of course, and so we're still needing more melting, of course, on the side roads and those neighborhood roads, the bus routes.
And the shaded areas,
yeah,
too.
The bus routes are still just a bit of a mess. Out where I live, it is still completely ice covered. So, traffic this morning and talking about bad. We are seeing, of course, on the sides, we're seeing lots of that runoff. So things have started to refreeze this morning because we've got our temperatures down in the 20s. But around our region, again, overall, not too bad. And we do have an accident down south, 530. Again, looking at it, moving pretty slow down there. Traffic's only moving about 7 miles per hour. So that accident is the left lane. It's blocked in south Little Rock and I-530 northbound before Dixon Road. So take your time this morning if you are in those areas. It's taking just a little bit longer to get to where you need to be. Weather-wise, well, yeah, we've still got a lot of that on the ground, I know, and it is just so thick and compacted. It's having a hard time melting, even with these temperatures being in the 40s last week, and this weekend we didn't have much to work with. Those temperatures weren't getting too warm out there, but today we are seeing a nice southerly flow. That's going to warm things up this afternoon, looking for those highs in the 50s today, which will be really nice, but we're starting out below freezing this morning, so that's not helping us this morning. But the roads so far, cross our fingers, doing pretty good. Again, lots of kids still out of school because of those bus routes, but there's a lot of them that are already in as well. I know Conway is in school this today. So overall, it's going to get better. I promise. We're going to see much warmer temperatures as we're heading into the afternoon today. 54 for a high, and down south seeing some 60s. And that southerly flow won't quite make it to northeast Arkansas. Unfortunately, they're going to stay in the 40s, but they will see a lot of sun, so that's good. We're going to have some gusts around 10 to 15 again. That'll help as well. We do have a chance for a little rain on Tuesday. We're going to see those clouds increase into the late afternoon and overnight hours, and that's going to bring in, again, a frontal boundary that's going to bring in some cooler air for Wednesday. Good news, though, we're staying above freezing in the afternoons anyway all week long. Thank goodness. And the next chance for rain will be as we're heading into the weekend, but not expecting much from that at all. Very minimal. But overall, not a bad week ahead. Again, and we just got to get that melting done on those side roads and those county roads. Again, those shaded areas. Take your time this morning as you are heading in. But it's going to be a pretty good week. It'll be a nice and warmer week for sure.
All right, thank you, Tracy. And icy roads still linger in many neighborhoods, and that's why the schools are closed today. The districts are monitoring conditions and will decide on reopening as the conditions improve. But for the latest closings and changes, we've made it easy for you to text the word closings to this number, 501-376-1111. Our digital team will send you a link to real-time updates. The effects of the storm being felt all across Arkansas by people, businesses, and farms. And in Pope County, the Department of Agriculture is urging farmers to report damage to see if they may qualify for assistance. THV 11's Carter Thweet has more.
Scenes like this one behind me can be spotted all across Pope County today. Families dealing with and even witnessing structures collapse.
I heard a noise and quickly turned around, and I got to watch this entire barn just collapse.
It was unexpected for Lisa Harmon of Harmon Farms in Dover. The barn holding food for their animals and a new tractor collapsing under the weight of the ice and snow.
It makes you nervous for sure. Now this was our oldest structure, but that doesn't mean the other ones aren't vulnerable. I know of people who've lost, newer structures.
One of them can be found in the city of Russellville, where retired teacher Tammy Jansen opened Green Thumb Nursery in 2021.
We've spent the last 4 years remodeling.
Which is why it's so disheartening that one of their greenhouses now looks like this.
My son came up here to check. on it. Colt, that works here as well, he made the unfortunate call to me that had fallen through, which he hated to make.
So Jansen had to figure out what to do with thousands of plants, and Harmon didn't have hay for her animals or a tractor to pull it, but the Pope County community stepped up.
He lives about 2 miles away. This is a man we've known for years, but not a close friend, just mainly a city acquaintance. And he loaned us his tractor for as long as we need it.
Still though, the next few months won't be easy. Harmon will spend it dealing with insurance, and Jansen hopes they'll have customer support.
The best way to support us is come in, and just shop with, and other businesses in town that have not had business all week. So just shopping small is going to be the best.
In Pope County, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
And here is the number on the screen. Actually, we'll have it in the story on THV11.com for the Department of Agriculture for people in Pope County to call to report that damage, and hopefully they will get some assistance. Meantime, local business owners are waiting anxiously for the icy conditions to melt because each day without revenue is tough when you're the boss. Many stores and restaurants did reopen this weekend, but owners say community support is critical. Every day closed means lost income for small businesses. Cappy Pack, the co-owner of Trio, says the icy roads during and after the storm made this closure harder from past winter events. And Jamie Gaston, who owns the Copper Mule in Bryant, reopened a few days after the storm, but not without some extra help.
I wanted my staff to be safe. I can afford to be closed for a few nights in a row, a few lunches in a row, but their safety is paramount. So happy to be open again.
We made a lot of drives to take people to work, from work, to get them here, which we very much appreciated that they were willing to do that.
Owners also say buying a gift card with your order is a simple way to provide a little cash boost as local restaurants continue to recover. At the state capitol, Arkansas will close the fiscal year with a surplus of $334 million. Administration Secretary Jim Hudson says that's up from last May's forecast of $185 million. The state's revenue is expected to exceed $6.8 billion this year, boosted by taxes from that $1.8 billion Powerball winner, according to the Arkansas Advocate. Hudson also projects next year's revenue will exceed $7 billion. As lawmakers prepare to focus on the budget in April, though Governor Sanders hasn't said yet whether she'll propose any new tax cuts. Also happening at the state capitol, FBI Director Kash Patel visiting Arkansas, meeting with state and federal leaders to talk about national security threats, including China, fentanyl, and coordinated law enforcement efforts. Patel joining Senators Tom Cotton and John Boozman, Attorney General Tim Griffin, state police, and local law enforcement for a closed roundtable discussion Saturday. In this press conference afterward, the group stressed the importance of partnerships between federal, state, and local agencies. Senator Cotton highlighting joint efforts like Operation Enforce and Remove, which resulted in the seizure of thousands of fentanyl pills. He also mentioned recent legislation blocking China from buying land near military bases. Patel says Arkansas plays a critical role in national security, and he praised local law enforcement for their cooperation.
We are not going to let anyone steal our secrets. We're not going to let anyone come into our country and infiltrate our schools. We're not going to let anyone come in here and get away with taking away what they wish they had, which is the dream of being an American. And we are going to defend that together.
The full 14-minute press conference is available for you to watch anytime on THV11.com. On Capitol Hill, the U.S. government is partially shut down, but the disruption is expected to be brief. Hours before Friday's deadline, the Senate approved a funding deal, though it won't be official until the House votes later today. One of the key issues involves the Department of Homeland Security, so we'll keep updating you on this still developing story. Meantime, a 5-year-old boy whose photo went viral after he and his father were detained by immigration agents in Minnesota is now back home amid a pending asylum case. Congressman Joaquin Castro escorted them from a Texas ICE facility to their Minneapolis suburb, where neighbors welcomed them home. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has more.
5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father Adrian are back in Minnesota. Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro posted cell phone video of them walking out of an ICE facility after a judge ordered their release. Residents and the mayor of their Columbia Heights suburb came out to welcome them home.
Well, we have really good news and a ray of light that, we have some family members coming back. ICE is still here.
Images of Liam surrounded by federal agents while wearing his bunny hat and Spider-Man backpack sparked outrage around the country, and so did the shooting deaths of 2 U.S. citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, in Minneapolis last month. As more protests were held around the country over the weekend, President Trump said he has directed the Department of Homeland Security not to intervene in cities led by Democrats unless their local leaders request it.
If they want help, they have to ask for it. Because if we go in, all they do is complain.
On CBS News 60 Minutes, Kentucky GOP Senator Rand Paul says public trust in DHS is broken.
I think to restore trust, things are going to have to improve. But I'm not going to say it's all on one side.
Meanwhile, DHS fired back at ProPublica over a report that named 2 federal agents it says were involved in the Preddy shooting. Writing in a statement, DHS will never confirm or deny attempts to dox our law enforcement officers. Doxing our officers puts their lives and their families in serious danger. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And now let's check in with meteorologist Tracy Bean, who's filling in for Ashley for the moment. We never know.
Yeah, we are watching again an accident in the South Terminal interchange. I'm going to show you this traffic cam first, and then we're going to get the details here in just a little bit. But you can see there is lots of backup there. We are continuing to see this as we are heading into the morning hours. It's slowing you down for sure if you're coming in from that Pine Bluff, Whitehall area. This is just before Dixon Road. So around the rest of the metro, things aren't doing too bad. Of course, we've got a lot more volume on the roads this morning as folks are beginning to get back into the routine. We still got to get some of the kids back in school, but there's enough that, again, it's causing a little bit of a delay in a few areas. And on Interstate 30, again, near that Alexander mark, we're seeing a little bit of slowdown. This is our typical slowdown, though, about 42 miles per hour at 30 eastbound. And then that accident that I was talking about, it's a left lane that's blocked. And again, that's I-530 northbound before Dixon Road, slowing things down to about 4 miles per hour. So again, a bit of a crawl is where you're at if you're headed that way. So take your time this morning if you're coming in from the south. Now, as far as weather goes today, we are going to see a nice warm up as we're heading into the afternoon. We're going to also see some 60s around the state. That's nice. Southerly breeze again is going to warm things up, keeping things a little bit cooler. It's not going to make it quite to Jonesboro and West Memphis, but the good news is no matter where you are across the state, we're going to have some sunshine, and I'm excited about that. Could see a little gust of around 15. Again, not a lot of wind, but we'll take what wind we can get because it'll help dry things up, and we won't have so much of a refreeze the next morning. So we need that melting, I know, especially on those side roads and those neighborhoods. We do have a bit of rain that is coming into our area by Tuesday in the overnight and the early morning hours. Most of it will stay to the south, but we could see a little stray shower tomorrow morning, but that should help that melting process as well. So let's time out what you're going to see over the next couple of days. Again, today we're going to see those highs around those 50s. It's going to be nice this afternoon. Still seeing that southerly flow, but we will start to see some of those clouds moving in as we're heading into the late afternoon and overnight hours. As a boundary comes through tomorrow, it's going to bring in some cooler air. We won't see that cool air till Wednesday, but it is going to spark off a few showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms in southern Arkansas tomorrow.